So, hi, Dave. Welcome to our Partners Insights for Elite Leaders. I think today what I'm really keen to learn is a little bit more about what Corpay offers to the recruitment sector, what the trends that you're seeing out there in the current market and economic state that we're in at the moment, and to find out a little bit more about you and your general role and what you do as an individual. So if you just wouldn't mind giving us an overview and insight into Corpay and exactly what it does, that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So as you say, I'm David Earl, one of the business development managers at Corpay, specifically working in the cross-border division. So our purpose is to provide currency risk management and international payment solutions to the corporate marketplace. But specifically when working with recruitment companies, we enable them to establish themselves into new markets, and also provide the recruiters who are already in overseas markets a greater financial footprint in those different locations.
Fantastic. So what are you noticing at the moment in terms of trends, and where is the sort of market spaces that you feel is a growth area for a particular recruitment business at the moment?
Well, I think it's fair to say that the trend at the moment is certainly going stateside. It's really interesting, some of the conversations that we're having about how quickly our clients are landing new business in all different types of sectors that they recruit in. And essentially what we're supporting them with is that banking infrastructure to start to handle the different currencies as the revenue starts to come in. So it could even be someone who is working in the Eurozone as well. Germany is a great market at the moment, and even Switzerland is something which we're coming across more and more now. So those would probably be the three main markets that we're seeing quite a bit of growth in, and I think we're only just getting started as well.
Yeah, I echo that. I see a lot of recruiters looking to go into sort of new verticals, new markets, and not to say that they don't know what they're doing, but they are reaching out to the audiences and the markets to see who can aid and support them. So I see that you're offering that type of advice, that type of strategy, that type of service that's going to aid and abet them moving into new territories and new countries where perhaps it's all a little bit new to them. So can you give us any examples, Dave, of anything that you've particularly worked on recently or historically that you don't have to name any names, but how you took them from A to B?
Yeah, certainly. So there was one particular case where a client was working in the tech sector in the States, and they had essentially agreed a specific contract with quite a large customer, and it created essentially a foreign exchange exposure that was quite consistent over their financial year. So it was in the region of $300,000 per month that they would need to bring back to GBP to pay for their overheads in the UK, because they were UK headquartered, and a lot of their workforce is still here. So they need to have that sterling income to cover those costs. But because it's over such a long period of time, the exchange rates are going to be different from when they first agree that contract, and potentially when it comes to fruition, and also throughout that time. So as I mentioned at the start, our purpose in the currency risk management side of things is to provide the finance directors and the owners of that recruitment company an element of certainty and peace of mind. So via one of our hedging tools, we were able to fix a rate of exchange for the full 12 months so that they knew exactly what their sterling return, in a sense, was going to be throughout that contract. And it just meant that they could carry on growing the business and put it to one side. Don't get me wrong, it would be great to make a little bit of extra money from the exchange rate getting a bit better, But because there's no guarantees around that, their view was to just draw a line in the sand and focus on the next one. So they were able to work with us to agree that contract for about $3.6 million for the 12 months. They don't pay us for the $3.6 million up front. We provide them with an element of a credit facility, and then they use it as a bit of a pay as you go. And then the balance just reduces accordingly month by month as they use it, but they'll always be exchanging at the pre-agreed rate at the start.
Great example. Thanks, Dave. I think a lot of people would appreciate that type of level of service and opportunity that perhaps they're missing out on. So really appreciate that. So look, coming back to Elite, you've been with Elite now probably just over a year, shy of a year, I think it is. And what is it about Elite that you like? You know, you're very vocal on some of the Zoom calls. I've noticed you turn up to most or all of the events. So, you know, what are you getting out of it? What do you like about it? And, you know, why Elite?
Well, certainly as someone that has worked in business development for coming up to 10 years now, for a trusted supplier to be able to be in front of the key decision makers in a market that I'm quite passionate about, it's really great for me because obviously they're a bit more open and a bit more free talking when they know who you are and they know that Elite have endorsed us. But I think it's probably how each leader communicates with each other and gives each other's tips. Of course, we have a WhatsApp group where people are constantly bringing up key topics, key trends, asking about certain things. And because there's such a variance of size of company, we've got, as you know, Adam, we've got, you know, a one-man band up to, you know, a company that might have 100 to 200 staff. Each person can learn off each other due to that. So I think those are the two main things. But I think that, you know, the culture as well. So it's a very professional space, but it's a really good culture to be in, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks, David. And look, you know, you're a very, very value-added partner to our group, and you know, you're in quite a niche sort of sector market supply for those particular needs and requirements that the owners of recruiters or someone they delegate that responsibility to would look for. So look, we value your opinion, we value your contributions. Finally, you know, look, everybody, it's the elephant in the room here. The Ukraine and the Russian impact on the economy hasn't happened entirely yet. But if you read the spring statement, as I did, you know, there was lots of quotes and lots of referrals to the fact that, you know, this is going to have an economic impact on our economy. How do you see that? You know, what's your opinion on that? What have you heard already? Do you think, again, we're going to go back into tightening our belts? Are we looking to, again, move or shift our operations abroad to try and make hay while the sun shines in another country? But has everybody been impacted by this is the question.
Well, I think it's been a crazy, you know, six years or so ever since the Brexit vote took place, and Russia, Ukraine, following the pandemic, couldn't have really come at a worse time as the global economy was coming out of such an unprecedented time. What I think the Russian-Ukraine situation brings is just that added layer of uncertainty within not only the economy, but financial markets as well. So due to, you mentioned energy there, of course, the oil price is connected to the US dollar. So depending on what happens with certain commodities, that can have a knock-on effect into the currency markets as well. But I think another thing to be aware of is the interest rate movements that we're seeing across the globe at the market at the moment. The Bank of England, as most people will now know, has consistently hiked rates for several months now. And the US have come out and said that they'll be doing something similar or are forecasted to do something similar, and also the Eurozone. So I think it's certainly one to watch and certainly not one to take your eyes off. But fingers crossed the Russia and Ukraine situation doesn't go on for too much longer. But certainly it is providing us with quite a bit of volatility in global markets for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for us, Dave. And I know that you'll always share good intel or opportunity or things that our members or the wider audiences in recruitment should be aware of. So look, Dave, we could probably talk all day. Really appreciate the time. Looking forward to seeing you again at some of our live events. But thanks for your insight. Thanks for your updates. And yeah, have a great day, mate. Good to see you.
Brilliant. See you soon.